Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly revisit Farthest Frontier. Now, I have covered this game before, but the game just recently released out of early access and into a 1.0 state, and you can find it for about 35 bucks or so. For those of you that haven't seen my prior coverage of this game, it is similar to Banished and other town/village builders, where you're going to be building a village from the ground up. It's really cool. There's multiple difficulty settings available. There's also different map types. Some are more difficult than others. I recommend the idyllic valley to start with, or maybe the lowland lakes to start with. But ideally, it's up to you. If you like a harsh experience, then by all means, go for it. There's also like preset difficulty settings as well as custom settings. I do like that, and I highly recommend that you disable the raids if you're starting to learn the game, and there are reasons for that, which I'll cover later. But suffice it to say, there is a bit of a learning curve here, and the raids on top of everything else can be a bit challenging. Once you get a hold of like how the economy works and how the buildings tie together and all that stuff, then I think then you could maybe enable raids. But for your first time out, definitely disable raids. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, so like I said, this game is very similar to Banished and other games like it in the sense that you're going to be building houses for villagers. You're going to assign them to various tasks. Whenever you construct a building, typically the game auto-assigns these people, but you have to leave enough villagers left over to be laborers and builders. If you've played Banished and other games like it, then you'll be very familiar with the concept. You have to build storehouses to keep your goods, well, housed. There's even farming in this game, and there's like crop rotation, and there's a lot of stats for farming, like weather, and you'll have to add sand or clay to the soil to get the right mixture to make the yields better. So that's really cool. There's a lot more to farming in this game than just picking a crop and watching it grow. There's also the ability to move buildings. Like if you've already constructed a building, you can relocate it. You can even set the area in which buildings work. So if there's no deer nearby, for example, and you've built like a hunter's hut or hunter's cabin, you can put the circle somewhere else, like the hunting circle somewhere else, and they'll go there instead. So there's a lot of good quality of life features that this game has that I think other games like it don't have. And I think that's a testament. And that's probably why the game is 35 bucks. I mean, some people might look at the price tag and go, this is kind of expensive for a Banished-like game, but it is really more in depth than it appears. And there's a lot of playtime that you can get out of this. Now, the 1.0 launch introduced a couple of things, but primarily it was the tech tree. And you earn these research or knowledge points every time. Well, you just earn it over time, really. And you can build things like schools to make that go faster. But there's a lot of things to unlock with this. So in addition to having to construct buildings to unlock things, which is the normal way you did it in early access, you also have to unlock it here. Like the foundry isn't a thing until you unlock it. Certain other buildings, the blacksmith or other defensive structures, are not available until you unlock it. There are other technologies that just offer a general buff to something, you know, making the crops more resistant to disease, unlocking this particular thing, or making fishing better, or this costs less work to do. You get the idea. So there's a lot of tech here to get through and unlock, and that's going to take a bit of time to get through. Knowledge isn't earned that quickly. So all in all, like I liked the addition of the tech tree. It kind of gave me the freedom to sort of specialize in the beginning. Do I go with a food powerhouse, or do I unlock tools first and work on that? Anyway, the interface can be a little challenging to understand. For example, there's a special screen, like typically in like Banished or other games, you click on the building to set the item limits. Here, you have to go into a particular tab in the town hall, or it's like the resource or settlement items screen. And from there, you have to set the minimum and maximum quotas of each item by clicking on the icon. So I like that it's all in one place, but I wish it was also available within the building itself. So if I click on a hunter's hut, I wish it would be like, do you wish to set the Do you want to set the quota on this resource and apply it to all buildings? A toggle, I've seen that in games like Kingdoms Reborn and other things. So like I would have liked that here, but again, that's nitpicking at this point. But I like the overall flow, the overall challenge. It is a slow burn, I think. And that's mainly due in part to how everything works. Buildings in this game are only unlocked either through research or by building the prerequisite building. So you can't even get to, say, I don't know, the wagon shop or whatever until you build this, this, and this. Or so there's multiple tiers of buildings, but this requires this, this requires this, this requires your town hall upgraded to tier 2. You get the idea. So there's not a normal progression in the sense that you have access to everything, you just don't have the resources for it. Here you are forced to build the structures. Even if you don't plan to use them, you are forced to build them in order to unlock the other structures that you may need. So, I mean, but the fact that you can move buildings around and demolish them for half the cost, then it's not that bad still. There's adjacency to worry about as well. Your people want desirable homes, so you have to put good like churches or chapels or marketplaces near their housing, keep the bad stuff away to keep the desirability up. So there is stuff like that to worry about. And like I said, this game is a lot deeper than initially thought. There's a lot of different ways that your villagers want to be happy, and in doing so, keeping them happy will improve their work rate, the immigration rate, combat efficiency, birth rate. So there's a reason, not just like they won't just move out or die. They'll actually work more efficiently if you keep them happy. And there's a lot of jobs here too. Like there's a profession screen, and the list is pretty lengthy. But again, to unlock a lot of that stuff, you have to first unlock the prerequisite buildings. But yeah, the town hall and everything else needs gold to operate. In fact, once you reach a certain point, like the first hour or two, you'll realize that gold is a resource that you earn passively through taxes, but it's a slow trickle, and it takes forever to come in, and certain buildings require it to operate every year or whatever. So that's why I recommended earlier not to enable raids, because oftentimes you're waiting for gold to trickle in so you can build the next thing, but then raids start popping up and destroying you, and then you didn't have the like a lot of the defensive structures require gold to operate. Even the basic towers need gold to operate. So, unless you're quick on the gold making, and if you know what you're doing, great, but if you don't, you'll find yourself ill-equipped to handle the bandits when they do show up. So that's why I recommended turn off the raids right from the beginning until you think you're experienced enough to get the gold quickly. Because gold is that's like mini bosses. It's like a mini boss in this game, really. That is what's setting me back. That's what's like, I have the game off to the left-hand side of the screen while I'm doing something else on the right side of my screen because I'm waiting for gold to trickle in. So, I'm sure I could do a better job at earning gold, but at the same time, I like a slow burn. So just know that going in. I recommend turning raids off. But yeah, there's trading. There's so many other things in this game. So I do recommend it for what it is. There's difficulty settings. There's a lot of different ways that you can play this. I love that maps are randomly generated. All that's good. So do I recommend this game? Absolutely. I think it's done a wonderful job compared to a lot of other games in this genre. So yeah, go check this game out. Farthest Frontier, definitely one of the better village builders that I've played lately. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.